Welcome back to Catching Up with Katie. So this week, we're snowed in. That is why we are in our pajamas. That's why we are in warm, Welcome back to Catching Up with Katie. This week, we are snowed in, so we are in our PJs, warm clothes, cozy. We've been hanging out. We are still awaiting Kennedy's foal to be born, so we are all kind of tired and been kind of cooped up for the last week. So hopefully she drops that soon. But for this episode, we decided not only to just kind of catch up on what's going on, but to take questions from y'all and answer them. So Abigail has collected some questions from Facebook, and I have no clue what she's going to ask. And we're just going to kind of address things that y'all want to know about.
All right. First question. Mm-hmm. Could or would Seven and Beyonce share the dry lot together since both of them require special ground for their legs? I thought that was sweet because that's his mom.
Yeah, but not like she didn't birth him, but biologically she's his mom. That's an interesting thing that we might have to come across once we get there, because here's the unfortunate thing about Beyonce is that now, let me just go ahead and say, I think show horse or no show horse, they should have pasture time. They should be a horse time. Beyonce, before we got her, from the time she started showing, wasn't really allowed pasture time. And if she did, it was in a really small, like, round pen or like a whatever. And so when we brought her home, that's kind of like what caused her injury, was that she went like buck wild in the pasture. And we have really uneven ground. And with her injury, she can't be on that uneven ground. And so that's why she's in the dry lot now. But with that being said, she didn't really have time with other horses. And so the few times we have attempted to have like a buddy for her, she's been not the nicest. So, we'd have to feel that out and see if she would be mean to him. But at the same time, when she has foals, and if she kind of like looked upon him like a foal or whatever since he's younger, she is like the biggest pushover to them. Like, she lets them absolutely like walk all over her and doesn't ever correct them and stuff. So if she looked at him like that and didn't try to hurt him, then maybe. I think that actually might be kind of fun. And he's getting bigger. Mm-hmm. Like, he's almost 400 pounds right now.
They're kind of starting to look alike.
He looks so much like her. It's funny. Like, if you put a star on his head, he would look so much like her. But, yeah, I mean, that's kind of like we'll cross that bridge when we get there kind of thing. But I'm not saying no.
Would she be patient with his spunkiness?
That's the thing that I don't know. Because with other mares, when we've tried to like give her a friend, she's been like, no, and like mean to them.
Because he's kind of like still center of the world in his environment.
Yeah, he's a bad boy.
Right.
He's an only child in his world.
But her foals are like that. Like the ones she raises. So when she had Ginger, when she had Finn, like they were so mean to her and she just let it happen. So that's what I don't know. I don't know which attitude she would take on with him.
And which would be better, really, because, I mean, we don't want her to be mean to him, but also, like,
he needs correcting.
Yeah, she can't just let him, like, walk all over her, because then he's going to be worse.
He probably will need some time with, like, Bo, because Bo is really good at...
He's just like who you go through first before you're, like, integrated into the farm.
Because Bo corrects without being, like...
Mean.
Mm-hmm. Like, he just doesn't put up with stuff. And he's getting older. He's 25.
I could see the two of them being a cute little pair for a while.
Bo has raised like all of Beyonce's children after they've been weaned. So
do you have another Bo? Like, is there going to ever be like somebody who is going to be?
We've got to get one lined up.
We're not talking about Bo.
I mean, obviously, we don't want to plan for the worst here, but
no, but
is there even a close contender to like somebody who might be?
Well, would you consider keeping a boy and gelding him to kind of take Bo's place?
But here's the thing about that is that I wouldn't keep one specifically to be a babysitter
because they
would like retire. But that's like, if I did one with a baby right now, that's 20 years from now or 15
yeah,
years
but
from now.
you got to start thinking about that.
His whole purpose is just to be nice to
Here's
babies.
what will most likely happen. Indy, Gracie, like those older mares, they are going to retire from breeding in the next couple of years. They'll probably end up being the babysitters.
Gracie.
And Gracie's mean, so she's going to like put them in their place. But again, with babies, she's a great mom.
Yeah.
Which is funny because Gracie's Seven's mom. So
Yeah.
like, right now, I don't know that she would be the best choice.
Yeah, I wonder how they would interact
don't
with
think-
each other if they were reintroduced now.
I don't think that they would even put that together.
Yeah.
Because even when she was taking care of him,
They didn't even really get to touch.
she would allow him to nurse a little bit when we would try that, but then she was drying up, and so we kind of went to pan feeding, and then so I don't personally think they would even realize.
How did Seven's birth and Cool's passing last year impact your anxiety going into this foaling season?
I think those around me, I feel very anxious. Do I seem more anxious this year? No?
I would say locked in over anxious. I've never seen you, aside from like in the moment, like I've never seen you just like get
Maybe I just feel anxious.
frazzled. Like something is like when Cool passed, like it was like obviously that day it was.
Matt was here for it. It was freaking terrible.
But like you obviously that day it was a horrible day. But like after that, at least you in showing, you know, you were pretty like locked into what you had to do, like what was the next step and whatnot.
Maybe I just feel more anxious and frazzled. But
I wouldn't say that you seem more anxious than last year, but I think you do a good job of staying composed.
because inside, I feel like on high alert for things to go wrong. Because like when Kennedy like started having mastitis early on and like dripping milk, I was literally like, not again. Like, please, Lord, please let this be okay. And like when, I don't know, there's certain things, even though I've seen babies be born my entire life, there's certain things that in my head was like, they wait till 320, you know? And then freaking Erlene has her baby unannounced before 320 and the baby was fine. But now it's like, and I knew I couldn't bank on 320, but at the same time, like that's just the norm. Like we don't normally have bears not do that. And so after last year and then this, it's like, I'm watching Ginger like a hawk. Like she's at 309 days today. And I'm like, don't you do it. Don't you do it. And it makes me scared because even though I couldn't even tell you how many babies, and 99% of them go past 320. It's just now in my head like I'm scared.
Yeah.
When she's giving no signs. Like she's giving no signs of anything being wrong. But it's just, you know.
Yeah.
I just feel like the worst to happen is so much more real. Like, I don't know. You can kind of put it out of your head until it happens to you. And then it's like, oh, it can happen.
And I think it's easier to feel that way with stuff. There's so many things that are out of your control.
And the more you do, like this is the most foals we've ever had with 8, the more likely something is to happen. And I kind of said that last year, and then just it hit the fan, you know? So yeah, it's just crazy to me that I feel like we had such a long streak of low drama with foaling with like my entire life. Like we had a couple of babies that, you know, may have had a couple issues. We may have had like, and honestly, it was more so like they injured themselves as a yearling or they whatever. Like foaling wise, it was always pretty low drama when I was growing up. And so now it just feels like, can we please have a chill year? Like, holy crap. Can we please everyone just do what they're supposed to do? But again, I look back and we were having 1 to 3 babies a year, not 8. The chances of things happening were just lower. And it was a lot of the same mares. And it's like, if you statistically look at Beyonce, the babies she carried, easy births, easy breeding. But so like if I only had her and like if I only had her and Indy and whatever, I'd be like, oh, birthing is easy. But if I had only had Cool and Gracie that one year, it's like, oh, foaling's hard, so it's just, I don't know if that's coming across correctly, but
Yeah.
statistically we had some like just really easygoing mares for a long time when I was younger, and we just had the same ones all the time, and so they just had easy babies, and we just got lucky with that. So I feel more anxious. I'm glad it's not showing.
I can't believe that 7 is almost a year old.
Like in a month. Like almost exactly a month he'll be a year old.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Now it feels very not safe. It feels very like he's not in immediate danger. He's comfortable. It's more of like what's his maintenance going to be like? What's his, like that kind of thing. Because we're going to obviously do what we can to keep him as comfortable as possible, to be like in the pasture and hanging out and mobile and whatnot. So, we'll have to, right now he's not like really on pain meds. He's not, but as he keeps growing, and that's what we're kind of like, we don't know yet because he's not grown yet. He's not full grown. And as they grow, problems can arise. So
Someone said, I'm a labor and delivery nurse, so when I saw your content during foaling season, I was hooked. When it comes to pregnancy, there are old wives' tales that help predict what gender the baby will be. So my question is, are there any for horses?
I've heard a couple. There's one we should probably do. I just saw it the other day, which is frizzy. Like if you look at their tails, if they have frizzy tails where they've like been rubbing or like whatever, then it's going to be a filly. If they are smooth tails, it's going to be a colt. That's one. There's another, and I wouldn't even know if this is an old wives' tale, but they say like if they cook the baby longer and go overdue, it's probably a colt.
Okay. It's true with Squirt.
Was.
And Wally. Well, no, she went over a couple days, didn't she?
She went right to her due date. Like she
Okay.
was like within a day. So yeah, I mean, sometimes it proves true. And then like with Beyonce, the one time she carried a colt, because she's never like has carried a colt. All the babies she's foaled were fillies. She went over day 330, which is like long for her. She never goes past 325. So that was true for her. There's also like a nail test you can do, but I think you can do that on humans too. Like you like hang a nail, and depending on what direction it swings, like counterclockwise or clockwise, I'm not sure how to do it, but yeah, those are the only ones I know of. If people know more that we should try,
The
put 'em
tail
in the
thing.
comments.
Ginger's been doing that, hasn't she?
Uh-huh.
So we're gonna, I guess that she's gonna have a girl.
Kennedy has, I feel like, a pretty smooth tail. Now
Arlene had a frizzy
tail, and she had a filly. So
I'm gonna guess.
That could be
Ginger's
a cool
gonna have a
video to
filly.
like go and like all the pregnant ones, like gender predictions based off wives'
Tail.
tales.
yeah. Or see if they match up. Like do 3 different wives' tales and see if they match up on the
Like,
same.
are
egg.
they actually?
That's the thing about wives' tales, though. It's like 9 times it won't work, but the one time it does, like that's what they always say.
It's like the Farmer's Almanac.
Don't talk about my farmer's almanac like that. It is true.
It doesn't work 99% of the time, and then the one time something matches up, it's like I've always known that was right.
Don't
I'm
talk
not-
about my farmer's almanac like that.
It's just an example. It's the same way with like the zodiac signs and stuff, which I read more into than I should.
I don't know. I saw something the other day, and I didn't even realize, because I'm a Gemini, and for some reason I've been seeing a lot of stuff about Geminis lately, and it all checks out on me. And I'm like, I guess I'm just a stereotypical Gemini. But
I was also gonna say the same thing about the horoscopes too, because like I'll never forget going with my family and reading all like the descriptions.
Be
It's
like, that's so
that's
me.
so me.
That's
This is
so
this
me.
is so me. This
The
is so
thing
me.
is, though, when we talked about that on here,
yours didn't match.
mine was just not accurate.
And
At
then we
least-
questioned her birth.
Yeah.
And then her mom, Kim, watched it. Hi, Kim. And she was like, don't question your birth. That's your birthday.
She confirmed, but she didn't show me any proof.
She was a little insistent on it too.
Yeah, a little like
You were born the way you
shut
were
that
born.
down right now. No discussion.
You seem like a hatchling.
Huh?
You seem like you were hatched.
I was
My cat
hatched.
always told me he was hatched. Why? I don't know. Because he has like barely a belly button, and so I'd always be like,
Ew.
I don't know why we just talked about this. But his belly button is like.
Can we
not
get a
there.
pic?
It's like
Can we
not
pull up a
there.
pic?
Insert Dennis's belly button.
And he always was like, "Yeah, I don't have one. I was hatched," and I believed it when I was younger.
I've always told people that I have a further developed, or I further developed a tail in the womb than most other babies did,
Why?
because I have, I have like a lump where a tail would be, which everyone kind of has like that little. It's like a
Tailbone.
little space
Do
Yeah.
they?
where you're post. I'm not going to say the name of it, but everyone knows what it is. I have a more protruding spot than most people. So I always tell people I further developed a tail
My parents.
than most.
That's a flex.
It
Plus,
is.
plus 100 aura.
Yeah.
Interesting. My parents told me when I was growing up that I was a monkey, and they shaved me every night. It's such just an individual experience.
Yes.
They told me I was an orangutan. Okay. You're like, I don't know how to take that.
I don't know,
Okay.
Kat. What do you think?
I don't know. Why are they called old wives' tales?
I think it's because women be yapping.
It's just because they're like, oh, those crazy old wives and their tails.
And I think it's probably because women be yapping, and so all these women talking about, well, this is how it is, and so it just kind of, I don't know.
They don't actually know.
No. And women just know everything. So
When you talk about not washing your hair for a week or more, do you still just rinse it or use dry shampoo? I just want my hair to be healthier. You're like, no, I actually do
No,
nothing.
if I have somewhere to go, I'll do dry shampoo within the first like 2 to 3 days. After that, dry shampoo doesn't do anything.
Mm-mm.
Like right now, I don't know how long. I think it's probably. When was our last Q&A that we did? When was
Last
our
Thursday.
last Thursday.
It was Thursday morning.
I washed it last Thursday morning. Then
Yeah.
it's Friday, the following. So it's 8 days now.
Fine.
When's the last time you washed yours? And people can be disgusted, but the proof's in the pudding. My hair's down to here, and it can just, I mean, maybe it's just genetic. I don't know. But I find that the more I wash it, the drier it is,
Yeah.
And so usually when I do a wash, though, here's the thing. And no one told me this. I had to figure it out as an adult. Wash your hair twice.
Mm-hmm.
Always. I do an initial like scalp, like, all over, whatever, rinse it out, wash it again, concentrating on your scalp. Because I used to always have dry, like, scalp issues and dandruff and stuff. And it's because I wasn't getting everything out. And it's because the first time you wash your hair, you're loosening everything up.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to wash it again to then get it out.
Never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Because I also have like a dry scalp and stuff.
You only
Yeah.
do one wash?
Do you wash twice?
Mm-mm.
Okay, try it next time.
I will. I
Okay.
do have dry scalp.
Okay.
We will be following up.
Glad we settled that. If you put a foal alert in a mare, then why stay up and watch her? I've foaled out draft horses for years, never had a foal alert, but fully know that those nights staying up was rough. But if I had one, I'd be sleeping.
Because I've had them not work. I've had them work most of the time, but I've had it happen. Indy did it last year. She rubbed hers out, and then I didn't know it till I got down there. And so had I not been watching the camera, I wouldn't have known that she was starting to foal, and I would have been asleep. So I have it as more of like a safety thing. If I fall asleep, because right now what I've been doing is I stay up till like 3, and then I set alarms for like every hour and a half. And then like in that time that I get sleep. And then from like Jonathan's been letting me sleep in, and we've been kind of starting later this week. So then from like 6:30 to 9:30, I'll sleep like without waking up, because I know there's people in the barn, and I know that Jonathan's up and stuff. So that's a terrible sleep schedule, but I prefer to not wait on the full alert, because that means the legs are out if the full alert's calling me. I prefer to be on the way down there or already down there before it calls me. It's just like an extra precaution for if I fall asleep, and it calls 3 numbers. So like say my phone dies, it calls my dad. And then
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it calls my dad, it calls my mom, it calls me. So that it calls my dad first, actually, because he will wake up immediately. So yeah, I'm also just paranoid, and I don't know.
You just want to be awake for it.
I want to be there for it. Yeah.
Where are all of this year's foals going when they are weaned? Space is limited in the barn. LOL.
You know, we kind of get there. I kind of create problems for future Katie, and then future Katie does problem solving. And I usually problem solve pretty well. Right now, I'll just tell you. So yesterday we went and saw the new stalls that we are having made. So we've took out the middle stalls that were there. We're having them repainted, repowder coated, and we are replacing the wood with polyboard, and we're doing like a wire mesh. You saw them yesterday. They're going to be so much better for airflow, so much better for keeping clean. So those middle stalls are gone right now. That'll be 2 more stalls that we don't have. And we're talking about making an extra foaling stall where those wash bays were. And then once those are done, we're going to take 4 to 5 at a time and have them redone. And so that's going to be over the next few months. And by that point, we've already ordered a building. We are building a new barn. I haven't figured out where it's going to be yet. That's the thing. We get things rolling. We figure things out. Okay? Like, we figure stuff out. There's going to be a new barn. The new barn is going to have normal size stalls in it. It's going to be for mares who are not pregnant, weanlings and yearlings that I keep, and overflow. Because sometimes, like for a breeding program, obviously selling as weanlings is great, because then it's like the least amount of time that you have for something to go wrong. They leave you. You have the least amount of money put into these babies, but it is nice to keep some to see how they develop and like have them in the show pen and stuff like that. And so I have to have room to keep some yearlings and 2-year-olds. So the big barn is going to basically be turned into just foaling stalls. There's going to be a few that are just normal, but it's going to be the foaling barn. And there will be 13 to 15 foaling stalls when it's all done. So but this year's babies, like I'll go ahead and say it. I won't give details, but Noelle's already sold. So we already have a date in June that she's leaving. So I hope to do that with at least 5 of this year's babies, maybe 6.
This is an important question.
Okay.
Are you building a pool for the horses?
No.
2 years ago, honestly, that's never really been an off-the-table question.
No. I don't even have a pool for myself. We live on shelf rock. Like, people are like, why does Kennedy not have a pond? Because we'd have to blast.
Maybe they meant a pond.
Probably a pond. Now, if we ever moved locations to somewhere that had flatter land and not as much shelf rock,
put in a pool.
Pond. I'd put in a pond. And also, if like money wasn't an object, if I was building a facility from scratch and have everything that I wanted, I would 100% have a saltwater spa or like a treadmill that like it doubles as it, like how Seven used to go in that one. Like an EquiTread or whatever it's called, because it's like Epsom salt, cold water, and a treadmill. I would 100% have one of those. Not the same as a pond, but
No. Would you ever accept a TV show about your daily life if someone like TLC offered you one?
What do you think this is?
What do you think we're working towards? We're waiting on our offer.
here's the thing, is that we jokingly say that it'd be so entertaining, but there would be no way to do a show because everyone would hate each other within 6 months of like watching it back and being
Yeah.
like, you said that? Like, there would be no way to do it and actually do it justice. Like, the amount of people that have such crazy characteristics on this property, it would be gold. But we can't do that.
Yeah, TLC would push too much drama. Like they would say, we
We
need some more affairs. We
thrive
need some more.
on the lack of drama here. Like, there is some drama, and we don't really put it out there because, again, we don't need more drama. So I don't think our show would thrive on a network like that because,
Yeah.
like, I don't want drama in my life. That I'm already stressed out enough. I can't also have, like, everyone being mad about the interviews that she said this about me, whatever. I can't do that.
It'd be really funny.
It would be
to
so
watch
funny, especially if we did it like Office style, like The Office, and it was just awkward. Like, oh, I would love it. But no, probably not. I am too much of a control freak, and I would want too much control over what is being put out there about my family, myself, our operation. And I wouldn't want things twisted. I wouldn't want things.
I feel like people's lives just
Magnified.
fall apart
They
after
do.
being on a
No.
TV show.
If you and Jonathan didn't start having like marital problem by season 2,
I was going to say, me and Jonathan, like, me and Jonathan, I feel like not even just me and Jonathan, we have a really good system, I feel like, here. And it's not without faults, but I would not want to damage that.
Yeah.
So, probably not.
But maybe. Will there be a theme for full names this year? I'm assuming starting this year. Starting this year. Will
You
there
know,
be a theme?
I enjoy themes for, like, the goats and for, like, things like that. But with foals, because I don't know, I just don't want to be limited to a theme. Like, if I look at a foal and I'm like, no, her name, like, we run into that with the cows,
Yes.
with the P names. We've run into being, like, put in a box and being like, I really like this other name. And so I kind of don't want to, like, ever have it to where if I look at this baby and I'm like, this is their name, but it doesn't fit on theme. We can't do it. I don't want to,
Yeah.
So probably not.
I like a theme, but I also just like being able to choose whatever name you think fits the animal.
Like last year with the boys, we kind of were like, so sorry. I don't know why I said boys
The
that way.
boys.
For some reason with the boys last year, we decided old man names. But it fit all of them.
Old man names are in.
And
Yeah.
before Walter was even born, I knew he was going to be Walter. Like, I had that name for him.
I have an interesting little thing that I just thought of. There was someone who I screenshotted this. Someone made names that they thought would be good for like all of this year's babies if they are. I think they put their predictions of whether it would be a filly or a colt, and then they put what the name would be
Okay.
if they were that.
I want to hear.
So, for Kennedy, they said Lacey, Vivi, or Vivian.
Vivi's actually really cute.
Ethel, Colt, Bayron.
Okay.
Barn name Henry.
I love that.
I like Henry.
I said
Henry.
Henry last year for, I don't remember who it was, but I think Henry's a
Henry's super cute. Oh, I think it was Howie that you wanted to
Yeah.
name Henry.
Annie, Philly, Solid Red.
Why are we doing the solid reds, girlfriend? Give me some bays.
Barn name is Lady. Phoebe, Colt. She
Well, we know
really
it's a
likes the
colt.
solid.
Well-
Colt, Solid Bay.
I really want Bayron for that
Barn
one, though.
name Cody.
Cody's cute.
That is
That's
cute.
an interesting little,
That is cute.
yeah. Dude, these names are kind of
That
solid.
is
They are.
cute.
They're good. Gracie, Philly, Red Roan. Barn name Amber.
Amber's cute for something red. That, like, I feel like a solid red one would honestly be Amber.
I really like They said a red paint filly for Happy.
Well, because Happy is carrying a double registered baby. It could come out like a lot
And they
of white.
said Ruby.
Ruby's cute. My little cousin Ruby would
I know.
die.
That's what I thought of.
She would die. She's 6. She would die if I named one Ruby. I might have to. If we have a little red girl. Okay, Ginger, if Ginger has a little red girl, I could see naming it Ruby due to the fact that like she was named Ginger because of her color.
Mm-hmm.
I could see her little girl
Ginger
being
and
Ruby.
Ruby. Oh, that is cute. I really like Cody.
Cody is cute, especially if it's something with code in the name because it's code red.
Yeah.
That could be cute. That'd be cute. You cannot put
I'm not.
Put the
because
clip of
that-
you
her.
cannot
I'm
put the
not,
VR footage.
because that is the intro of the full video.
Okay, so here's the thing. I need to tell y'all this and prepare you. They are trying to smear my image without my
I
knowledge.
think you
They
look cool.
they took video without my consent last night. We have a VR headset, and I was playing a game called Beat Saber, where you're like very immersed. Okay, like you literally feel like you're in this black room, and
Insert the clip.
you literally feel like you're in this black room, and you're slicing these squares that are coming towards you, and it tells you like which direction to slice them. When you are in the game, you feel so cool. You're like, I'm like just killing it, okay? And like also, I had my hair in a bun like I do now, and so my freaking
Forgot about
my
that.
freaking bun was like over the side because of the dang straps. And
Locked.
the sound is so loud that you don't realize that people are making fun of you to your face as they're doing
You
it.
don't realize that there's 6 people in the room all staring at you while you're doing it, laughing.
They videoed it. And it makes my stomach hurt to watch because of how embarrassing it is.
Should we just put it in this one? Should we just put it in this one? Let's put it in this one.
What game is that?
He needs to play Beat Saber.
Yeah. What's it called?
What the? Don't look at me differently because of that.
Have you ever had to deal with a mom completely rejecting her foal? What do you do to make sure the foal gets everything they need?
We've dealt with some mamas like rejecting at first, and I wouldn't even say rejecting, just being kind of confused and not letting their baby eat and being kind of aggressive. We've been, knock on wood, we have been lucky enough that we've been able to either, like there's been a couple times we had to resort to sedating the mother so that we could let them latch, and then there are tons of like oxytocin and like hormones released when that baby starts nursing, and a lot of the time that does it, and then they're okay. I've heard if a mare completely rejects her baby, you can actually administer oxytocin. They call it, or like I think there's like a love drug combo with oxytocin that, I mean, obviously talk to your vet before you do this, but it releases the hormones for them and they start loving on the baby. I've heard that works. And if it completely doesn't work, mare rejects it, you would either probably try to find a nurse mare, which we've talked about Beyonce, you know, having milk, like she could possibly do it. She wouldn't be my first choice due to the fact that she can't go out in the pasture with all the rest of the mares. I would possibly see about inducing one of our mares like Indy, or like somebody, like see if they would like, you know, take it. There are places that have nurse mares specifically for that fact. Like they induce these mares that are really good mamas, and then you try to, you know, get them to be together. And if all fails, you know, you would just, I saw actually somebody that I follow, they had a mare who was super good with their babies, and she didn't have enough milk to take care of this foal, but she allowed it to stay with her, and she mothered it, and she like, you know, gave it the nurturing it needed without the milk. And so they bottle fed it on top of it being like, this one mama just had 2 babies in her stall with her. So you'd kind of have to just go off of the situation. Luckily, we have not had to deal with that, and I hope we don't. But I don't remember how much we left in on the last video of last foaling season with Molly. But remember Maggie? I mean, it took us a couple hours to get her to be okay with her. Like, we didn't let her be alone with her because she was pawing at her, she was biting her, she was squealing at her, like being really aggressive. So I hope it doesn't happen. We have not had to, fully do that. But anyway, hope y'all enjoyed this Q&A type catching it with Katie. We are probably going to be implementing a little bit more of these going forward because just so much is happening that we would love to answer y'all's questions. So if you have any more questions that you would like to include in this comment section for us to use going forward, please do so. And stay tuned for all of foaling season and all of the videos coming up because so much is about to happen.